Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about responsible AI, ethics, and governance, building trustworthy, ethical, and accountable AI systems. Yeah, and the learning objectives is going to explain the core concepts of responsible AI, identify common AI risks and mitigation strategies, understand Microsoft's responsible AI principles, yeah, describe AI governance and human in the loop design. Yeah. Okay.
The process of preparing it is to solve. Yeah.
Okay. Let's define responsible AI. It's the practice of designing, developing, and deploying AI systems in a way that is fair, reliable, safe, private, secure, inclusive, transparent, and accountable. Let's look at why it matters for small businesses. Yeah. Can somebody tell me what you understand by responsible AI now?
Then other things you can see fair configuration.
Yeah. So from what I've said, what do you understand?
The important thing to is the operational readiness.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can tell you.
Can anyone hear
There's
me?
a background noise coming from your end.
Okay. Is it really bad? Is it really bad?
It's very bad.
Okay.
It's very bad.
Okay. MJ, please, can you take it because there's another class going on in the next room.
Okay.
They're using a mic. Yeah, let me.
No problem. No problem.
All right, thank you, MJ. All right.
So, to my understanding, responsible AI is basically the use of AI that is following a defined ethic, AI that is not biased, and AI that is also maybe like following having that has a defined compliance structure. From the top of my head,
That's very good. Well done. Who spoke? What's your name?
Then,
Okay, let me hand
Precious
over.
Abraham.
Okay, Abraham.
Precious
Yes.
Abraham.
Okay, well done. Okay, I'll hand over to MJ. MJ, please take it away. Thank you.
So I'm going to pick up from where Madam Franca stops. Unfortunately, I think we had a mix-up. We're thinking of so this class should have been removed. It should have been that we started by 12 because there was a mix-up. I thought I was taking the class and I didn't know that she was actually. So we had, you might look at the slides, it's quite very different. So it's like both parties have already prepared for a slide. But all good. It just means that you're in good hand because now you have multiple mentors, tech mentors that are trying to take you. All right. So those are the things that we have going through. So the thing, and I love the fact that someone mentioned that AI, how she explained the responsible AI, and then it's actually quite very interesting because AI is no longer something that we're just experimenting with today. It is actively deciding a lot of things for us. We see that it is actually influencing decision and decision from even who gets hired, who gets some sort of credit loan, what information people see. Now imagine that AI gets that wrong, not just once, but at a very, very large scale. Because AI doesn't just make mistake, it can also amplify them through thousands of decisions instantly. This is why it is very, very important that we build responsible. So it's no longer a question, will people build with AI? Yes, people will build with AI because AI, the I mean, like I said, the technology of today, everything right now, as I mean, the trend that we have, we're seeing that AI is like the backbone of everything. So it's not a matter of, oh, I'm not going to join the train. Join the train and say you can use it responsibly, because in one way or the other, your organization or people around you are going to use this, and they're actually going to use it in a way that also matters for your business. And the consequences, sometimes when it is not used responsibly, there are things like legal risk, reputational damage, loss of trust. And you know, in business, so trust is everything. And responsible AI today is not just what we refer to as an ethical obligation, is a business imperative. It's all about risk management. It's all about business sustainability. It's all about leadership responsibility. And that is why Microsoft has come up with about 6 responsible AI principles, which we're going to look at in a minute. And I love very well the person that made the definition about what responsible AI is, because it's all about using it responsibly in a way that it is fair enough, it is not biased, it can also respect my privacy, and then it is transparent enough, and then at the end of the day, it also is not, like I said, it's not biased, it makes it inclusive. So we're going to look at the Microsoft 6 responsible AI principle. And then why Microsoft uses this 6 AI principle is, to guide responsible AI, is for it to act as a sort of compass, a compass for how we build or we develop AI today. And so think, like I said, think of them as a compass, and then each one of them answers a critical question. So you can see the fairness. What fairness does: treat all people fairly, avoid bias. We look at reliability. It talks about performing reliably and safely. You talk about privacy, respecting my own privacy. Inclusiveness, empower people in regardless of their ability. And then you want your AI, whatever app you build with AI today, to be transparent, that is, be understandable and explainable. If AI cannot explain itself, then there's no need for you to use it. I tell people, accountability, that is, people must be accountable for AI. And that's the truth. A lot of times we think that because we're using AI, we do not have a place of human for us to come in. In fact, in all of the responsible AI principle, all of this still hinges upon human. And a lot of time when you hear the word that if anything goes wrong, is the AI or human that should be blamed? It is actually the human, because the instruction you give to the human and to AI is what it does. And again, AI doesn't just execute, he waits for your go ahead. When you guys are aligned is when he can execute. So that's why accountability actually does what goes a lot with human. So we're going to break each of these at the end of the day today to what's they all mean, and then we can take it up from there. So principle 1 is fairness. Fairness means that AI should treat people equally and equitably. But here is the reality: AI doesn't create bias, it learns it. It doesn't create it, it learns it. So if your data is biased, your AI will be biased. So a lot of the time, 3 sources of bias that we see in AI today is data bias, where your data, so imagine a data that's maybe in terms of you are looking at the employment pattern of a company, it is all male. So you take that pattern and AI learns from that pattern, and then the company decides to use AI for recruitment. AI is actually going to look and say, oh, the pattern from this company is all male. So you might see everything about female and then ignore it. Or even a bank, and then you look at a bank lending pattern, and then he learns from it and say, oh, most time it's only the rich people or people of certain class that are giving loan. What it's going to do is that it's going to ignore people of lower class, and then it's not going to work because it learns it. So AI doesn't create bias. A lot of times when people are talking about it, we make it sound. And this is where I feel that a lot of us, if we learn the work, if we learn this thing very well, we stand sometimes in a position where we are able to help organization, because not everybody is actually going to code, to be honest. Not everybody is actually going to learn how to code. Some of us may just be in a strategic position in companies and just carve out a niche for ourselves where we are not only AI champions, but we are saying responsible AI consultants or responsible AI champion. We can give job opportunities are springing up, and so you can see a way there where you can start helping organization to avoid all of these. Now, another source of bias when it comes to is algorithm bias, where AI from the algorithm, it sees that, okay, this is the way the algorithm is built, and it responds to certain question, and he learns from it, and then he responds that way. The key thing I'm trying to emphasize here is that AI doesn't create bias. It learns from it. Whatever data, whatever algorithm that we've built, whatever model that we've built is what AI learns from, and then it acts the way it acts. So, which is very important, that even when you are building your application, because you're going to be building application, the whole essence of this 7 weeks, 8 weeks journey in Textile is at the end of the day, each and every one of you are actually going to see that you can impact your society, your organization, or even your community in apps that can solve problems. And then the whole essence is that by the time you're building this app, you have followed this principle, you've inculcated it in your app. You've infused it in the algorithm models, you've infused it in your model, and then at the end of the day, you can build applications that are not going to be biased in any way. And the last way that AI learns bias is through user interaction. So like I've said, you have 3 ways. You have the data bias, you have algorithm bias, and lastly, you have the user interaction. So key question that should come to your mind at any time when you're building a solution is that, would this system treat different groups the same way? If the answer is unclear, then that is actually a red flag that what you are building is not fair, is not does not follow the principle of the responsible AI. That is, it doesn't follow it. So like I said, example is an AI hiring tool trained on historical data may learn to prefer what it may candidate if past hiring was biased. So I'm just giving an example of that. Now, the next thing we're going to look at, the next principle is reliability and safety. Even a fair system is useless if it is unreliable. I hope all of you will agree with me. A fair system, even though, we talk about fairness right now. Now, let's even assume that the application you build, your AI app that you build, is fair enough, is able to consider people from other races, is able to consider people from different backgrounds, and then it is fair enough. However, if it is unreliable, it is actually a useless system that we've built. So what we need to do is that our AI must work consistently. That's the old or the old principle. The core truth about this principle. Your AI must work consistently, must undo edge cases, and then must fail safely. So you think about a self-driving car. I gave an example when we started this class the very first day. I said last year I was in the US, and then we were waiting for a car to return us to the hotel. A ride. And when the ride came, it was a self-driving car. I told them I'm not going to enter. Even the way I preach AI a lot, all of them were making fun of me. I said, no, I'm not going to enter. I will wait for another car. And and eventually a human driving car came that I could see a human being. So I started asking questions. We were discussing in the car, and I was asking the guy at the I said, how did you, just tell me a bit about this self-driving car. How did it feel? Very well. So the guy was saying a lot of, he was telling us, said, when it first came out, that the thing caused a lot of chaos, that, in the middle of anything, in the middle of the road, even it can be in the expressway, we just stop working, and then that causes a lot of traffic. And you can imagine, like, maybe you have self-driving cars about 3 across a lane on the road, and all of them drop. There is no way. Before then, you have physical people wherever they are controlling it and all of that. So when he was saying it, I was looking at the guy, but he said it's a lot better this day. And then when he said it was a lot better, the guy was looking at me. I said, either way, I'm not entering. But maybe if I make my trip again, because of the advancements, I'll be more comfortable to say I want to enter it. So when you build the system must be reliable. It must be safe enough. Anybody in that system must be safe enough. So you can think about a healthcare AI. If an healthcare AI is doing something, and then what happens if he couldn't, like a robotic, is performing a robotic operation, and then he misses? What do you think is going to happen to the life of that person? A failure isn't just for inconvenience. The truth about it is that it can be dangerous. And so every AI must answer this important question, which is the key question: what happens when when something goes wrong? And then if you cannot answer that question, that what happens when something goes wrong, then if you don't know, that's a risk. So one of the things reliability requires is that it requires continuous monitoring, not just redeployment, and then maybe you are testing, you want to continuously monitor your AI. So your AI application that you've built, any application you build or any system that you build with AI that we're going to teach you today, you start. So the reason why we're going through this course, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of this course, is not that because we are in the age of AI today. Everybody, it is very easy. I'm telling you that if I happen to wake up my late grandma in her grave and then just give her some lines, and they say, okay, whatever you want to do, just put a prompt here, she will build an app. Everybody can build today, to be honest, because the ecosystem has been democratized. Sorry, English, please don't break my teeth. It's such that we have an even ground today. Do you understand? It's an even ground for everybody. It's a playing field, an even playing field for everybody to play with. But what makes you different is that what are you bringing out? And this is why it is important that even as you start your journey, you have to ensure that these answers, your applications answer each of these principles as you're building. Now, the third one is privacy and security. AI runs on data. And I remember that when we started this course, I made mention of it, that the lifeblood of AI is data. It's just the fuel that drives AI. At the end of the day, everything, every single text you put in, they are called word data. And that is what AI is feeding us. So oftentimes, you even feed it on sensitive data. We've seen people today, in a bid to get their job done, they go into ChatGPT, upload all sorts of even private, confidential documents, and AI is learning from it. So we must collect not only what we need, but it's also important that we protect it properly. Now, it is important that when you're putting AI, for AI to respect privacy, data collection should be minimal, should be consensual and transparent, which means you are only collecting only what you need. And then you also would want to protect it properly. However, it's also important that you are transparent about the usage. So remember that with AI today, it introduced new risk. You get, that's the truth. for every technology that came out, there is another set of people that are trying to hack into it and produce risk with it. So it is the same with AI. And because of the acceleration of changes that is coming with AI, you can see that you are even seeing AI driven attack, AI attack also. So AI introduces new risks like data leaks. It introduces leaks like even your model that you build with AI, your AI model today can leak. You see adversarial inputs, you get all of that. And then the most important thing is that you want to see how you can comply with regulatory requirement like the GDPR. As at May, AI now has regulation, it has compliance. So we now have a compliance this thing for AI. So then you know Nigeria, because we are teaching in Nigeria also, they will tell you to comply with the Nigeria data protection, where everything that is like PII are protected. When I mean PII are personal identifiable information, things like people's age, their date of birth, even things like there can be like BVN, their NIN, all of such kind of things. And there are compliance requirements today that they must all be protected. So the key question you are asking is that, are you protecting user or you are exposing them? So whatever data you collect, what data you collect today, who has access to it? And so this is why it is quite very important that privacy by design is what you build from day one into your system. At the end of the day, if you're collecting data from people, you have to let them know why you're collecting their data and what you're doing with that data. You have to be transparent enough. Most importantly, people have to give you their consent when you are when they want to use your application because of the data you are collecting, which is very important. Because today you see people build AI tools, AI system, and at the end of the day, there is really nothing to say, oh, you are protecting yourself even as an organization while you are collecting such kind of data. Now, another thing is the principle 4 is inclusiveness. Inclusiveness means AI must work for everyone, regardless of your race, your ability, your gender, your ethnicity, or your socioeconomic status. That's what it means, not just the majority. So even language diversity, accessibility, if somebody comes with a form of disability, AI should be inclusive enough to work for them. Different contexts. So a powerful principle is it is designed for the margins. Where you design for the most excluded, everyone does what? Everyone benefits. So one of the questions you'll be asking when you're building your AI is that who might be excluded or disadvantaged by this system? Who is missing in your data? Who is missing in your design team? Which is quite very important. So why this matters is that when you consider cultural context, especially cultural, all trained primarily on Western data. I want to give an example here. When you consider from a cultural context, AI trained primarily on Western data may not serve African or Asian users well. So this is the problem we find today. But then we know that we're encouraging that people should build AI to work for them. However, when you are also building, ensure that your AI system can scale enough at the end of the day that whoever comes to it, if you want to build a global solution, it can also be able to serve those people that are not within your geographical space. The people that is not local to you can actually use it. So inclusive AI requires diverse teams even building to the technology. So you want to see from different perspectives and then from different contexts how you build inclusiveness into your AI. So the 5th principle is all about transparency. People should understand when they are interacting with AI. That is quite very important. Why decisions are made, but many AI systems today are what is referred to as black boxes. So, I mean, they are not clear enough. Explanation is not clear enough. Model, you don't even have model documentation. There is no kind of honest communication. And then if you're going to be part of the people, we don't want you to be part of people building AI system. We don't want you to add to the number of the black box problem. So what we need from you is that when you're building AI, model documentation is quite very important. And then also clear explanation is quite very important. So these are the transparency. It just means that AI, when they can be interacted with and the people will understand, AI must be explainable. It must be able, it can explain itself. Key question you should ask yourself is that, can we explain how and why this thing make a specific decision? This is quite very important. Now, the next thing is that the last principle is the accountability principle. So this is the anchor principle. And why is it the anchor principle? Because AI doesn't take responsibility. People do. AI is an agent. It's just like, and then that's why I normally say that when you build your AI agents, you build it in such a way that you treat it like your other employee. An agent should be treated like an employee. The same way you put guardrails for every employee and say, oh, you don't have access to certain data. The same way you should do for AI also. You get, AI doesn't, because AI will never take responsibility. It's the people that build it that will take responsibility. So the question you should be asking is, who owns the system? Who approves deployment? Who handles failure? If something goes wrong, there must be a clear answer to who is accountable. Because without accountability, all other principles that you have, we have spoken about so far, collapses. So at the end of the day, everything that goes wrong on your system, you should be able to. And this is why it is quite very important that you build responsibly. Everything, I mean, the system must be able to, who approves what. So that's why people used to think that, oh, because I'm building AI, I do not need my governance team. You still need your governance team. You still need your compliance team. You still need your teams that does regulation. Your risk and compliance team are still very, very, very important. You can even build a sort of workflow that approval process are gotten before you can move to another phase. Do you get? So that is the way. People just don't just think that when you put prompt to AI, that's when you go. No. There are certain things you actually can put in place to manage AI responsibly. So that's the end with AI. But one of the things we know is that responsible AI doesn't happen by accident. It's actually something that is structured. So you think of governance as the policy, the process, and the people. I kept saying something a lot of times that, you see, in between these three, the most important people are what? The most important framework here, let me be honest with you, is the people. Because the people are the ones that are going to describe the process you're going to use. The technology that you're going to use, they're going to build, is the same people that are going to consume it. So they are very key in all of this. And again, they are the ones that are also going to implement or enforce or break the policy you're going to make. So when we talk about the policy, we talk about the rules, the ethics, the compliance, and you see a lot of policy frameworks that are said here. And you talk about the process and the testing, the audits, and then the monitoring. So your risk and compliance team is quite very important. Your audit team are quite very important. In fact, I keep saying that there's a lot of jobs for people within AI space. They just think it is only about coding. Auditors right now will actually be in great demand. Risk and compliance people will be in great demand, because reason why, they are people that are going to be putting guardrails into what AI is doing and how it is structured, because no organization wants any form of reputational damage for themselves. So you see a sort of ongoing incident response plans that are put in place for AI today. Then you have the people, the team diversity, the leadership, and all of that. So what Microsoft's risk approach does is that you map the risk, you measure the risk, and then you manage the risk. So this is how principle becomes actually what? A reality. And like I said, in trying to talk about it, AI responsibility doesn't happen by accident. It is structured, which which talks about the governance, and the governance in a plain language talks about the system of the rules, practice, and process to ensure that AI is developed and deployed responsibly. And then so we have the Microsoft Responsible AI Standard version 2. Microsoft didn't stop at just principle. They created what is called AI Standard version 2, So there was a standard version 1 before you come to standard version 2. With a real requirement across the full AI life cycle. It also includes things like what impact assessments. That is, it covers the full AI life cycle, like your planning, your design, your development, your deployment, and your monitoring stage. So what are the key requirements this is looking into? It's looking at things like impact assessment. When anything goes wrong in an AI system, what is the impact? What is my risk profile? Can my risk profile accommodate the impact from the risk that comes with that thing? You have impact assessment, you have fairness testing, human oversight, transparency, documentation, and all of that. All of these are supported by the Responsible AI Toolbox, which is an open source on GitHub. So if you go to your Google today and you type Responsible AI Toolbox, is going to open in GitHub and you're going to see it to use. So one of the key takeaways is all of this, because I've actually finished the Responsible AI class, is that responsible AI must be operational, and then must be measurable, and then must also be enforced. So the standard is actually a bridge between principle, what we believe, and practice, what we do. So that is the whole thing around the Microsoft Responsible AI. And I'm going to throw a bit of scenario to us, because I want us to think. And in thinking, I want us to now look at this, because these are not theoretical. They are based on real world failures. Each of the scenario I'm going to throw to us, and I want people to unmute and speak. So let's consider for this one a biased hiring system when AI learns from prejudice, a company deploying AI, a candidate impacted by them. So let's look at the scenario 1. So let's say tech forward incorporation implements an AI resume screening tool to streamline their hiring process. Now the system was trained on 10 years of historical hiring data. And after 6 months, the HR team noticed that the tool consistently ranked male candidates higher than equally qualified female candidates for technical roles. Investigation reveals that the training data reflects a decade of gender imbalanced hiring. So let's discuss. Let's talk what principle here failed. What went wrong? So which responsible AI principle were violated based on what we've spoken so far? What went wrong in the design and deployment process? How could this have been prevented? And what should the company do now? And who is accountable for this outcome? So, guys, like I said, it's an interaction system. So I want to hear your view. So what do you think about all of this? Is anyone willing to? Yeah, James, go ahead.
Yeah, I want back.
Yeah. So okay. Like already mentioned, part of ethics and responsibility of AI is a human in the loop. That should be a human from the inception, at the mid, and at the ending, at the finishing. There should be a check, and there should be a managing and ensuring that what is being garbaged in, it has quality and stand test of time and quality checks. So human in the loop is missing here. Thank you.
So which responsible AI principle is actually violated based on the principle we've spoken about so far? Thank you, James, for your response. But which principle is actually, or which principle or principles were violated?
Oh, the principle of inclusiveness.
Great.
It must be for everyone and not limited to gender, race, and the principle of inclusiveness was violated. That was the first thing. And the second one, the design and the deployment process. I think in the design, according to the article, previous of 10 years of historical hiring data, and previously in that 10 years, and gender inequality is on the high side. It is imbalanced. So I think that was in process then, according to the data that is embedded into the model. So that was why it was picking male over the female, and design for margins take place.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that. Thank you both of you for that. So, but let's talk about it. How could we have prevented this? How do you think we could have prevented this?
I think the model should be clean and revisited maybe oftenly in the space of one year.
So yes, so the model that we use, even the historical data, because the historical data is already faulted, just like what James also and yourself said. We shouldn't have even used the data of that historical data that already is biased in the first place and does not how will I put it, respects any form of inclusiveness. So that shouldn't have even been used. And then if we have been studying a data pattern, our hiring pattern in the past, we would have seen that this does not respect any female for a technical role. It is only male that it only approves. So we should have seen something that has gone on. And who is accountable for this outcome at the end of the day? Who is accountable for this outcome? Who do we say is accountable? Precious, do you want to say something?
Oh yeah. I wanted to, yeah, I think I don't know who talked about the inclusiveness. Yes, I wanted to highlight that. And I also think the principles of fairness as well was not adopted. Then speaking of who is accountable, I think the whole hiring team should be accountable, both from the inclusive of the hiring manager, the HR department, whoever that is at touch point, and also if they have more like an ethics and compliance department, they should be also be held accountable. But I know that it's not all business that might have that, but I feel like if they are part of that, if they have it, they should also be accountable for that.
You're right. So, and then more importantly, who build it? Because right now they've already implemented high power resume screening too. That's it. So we're not talking alone in the past, we're talking in the present. It means that someone also built a model that is. However, all of the, just like you mentioned, I love the word you used there, the ethics team. You have the ethics team there that are also not looking at the part of what an historical data is saying to say, oh no, this shouldn't be. And these are the data so that we are putting into the system to build. So sometimes it is not only the work of the AI developer or the engineer that is building the solution. Whatever, it's the common responsibility of everybody in the organization, who, especially from a leadership standpoint. So who is accountable for this outcome? Leadership, the people that are responsible for the data, because whatever the model, AI is not responsible here. Whatever you give it is what it brings out. So very well done. Well said, everybody. Thank you so much for your contribution. So we're moving on, and then we're going to go to the next one again, another scenario. So you can see the analysis here. So we say the principle that I've evaluated is fairness, accountability, and then transparency. Now, historical data in training, yes, prevention would have been diverse training data, bias audit before deployment, and all of that. Fairness metrics, human oversight. I love that the first speakers talk about human in the loop and human oversight. Remediation will pause the system, will conduct a bias audit, retrain with balanced data, implement ongoing monitoring. So a real world parallel where this was affected was what an Amazon AI recruiting tool that was built in 2018. What it shows is that it was scrapped. That tool was discontinued after showing bias against women. So the key lesson we're learning here is that AI doesn't create bias, it amplifies existing human biases at scale. Actually, what someone was saying that AI is just a reflection of ourselves today, what we are. So somebody was telling me that. I was laughing the other day, and it's so true to it because it doesn't have a mind of his own. A lot of times people think that AI has a mind of his own. No, what he learns from data, and that data is what he uses. So let's go on right now. Our next scenario again is AI in loan approval, and this is talking about when algorithm judge your credit worthiness. So the scenario, let's read it again. Oba Bank deploys an AI-powered loan approval system that uses both traditional financial data, credit score, income, employment history, and non-traditional data points. That is social media activity. You see what it does. Apart from using both traditional financial data history like your credit score, your income, your employment history, you now use non-traditional data points. Non-traditional data points refer to things like your social media activity, your smartphone type, your browsing habits, your zip code to assess credit worthiness. Now, analysis revealed that applicants from certain zip code, predominantly minority neighborhoods, are being denied at significant higher rates, even when their financial profiles are comparable to approved applicants. So discussion right now, what type of bias are present in the system? How do proxy variables like zip code enable indirect description? Which regulations might this system violate? How should the bank redesign its AI system? What role should human oversight play in loan decision? So I want us to look at it and I want discussions on it once again. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
firstly,
discuss.
I think the violation is the privacy and security violation, because why does he have to go into the personal details like PII information, which is and
So what is the principle that is violated here?
the principle of privacy and security,
Okay.
and also
Is that the only one?
no,
Okay, maybe
also
for you.
transparency
All right.
is not transparent enough,
Mhm.
because the profiles are comparable to the approved applicant. No, there was no transparency. There was double standard there. So the principle of transparency was violated also.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, sorry. Let me see. That's James, right? I mean, sorry, Muhyiddin, right?
Yes, ma.
All right. Thank you. So, who else can we? James? Anyone else? Precious? Kaya? Let's see. What do you? Any feedback from you? All right, great. So that we won't waste time because we want to do a lot today. The next thing is we have the bias tab. There is data bias, that is historical learning discrimination, rightly said by Muhyiddin. Proxy discrimination, zip code means it will tell you your race. Feature bias, smartphone type means we indirectly inform your income. So if I'm using a smartphone, yes, that means I'm getting money. I mean, not necessarily, because that's what the bias is all over there. They will think I have more money. Principle violated is fairness, privacy and security, transparency and accountability. Now you have the black box problem here, is where borrowers cannot understand or challenge decision. Nobody is not transparent because it's not explainable, and at the end of the day nobody can challenge it. The regulation risk, fair lending laws, where you have Equal Credit Opportunity Act, is also violated. You have NDPA, where you have GDPR, CCPA, and NDPA, where you have things like their race, that is also what they call it, violated. Even their social media, you went there. Solution is to remove proxy variables, implement explainable AI, mandatory human reviews for deniers, because even when people are denied, there should be a human in the loop to evaluate why people are denied credits, and the regular disparate impact testing. So key lesson we learn here is that neutral data points can be processed for protected characteristics. Now the last one we're going to learn is the AI generated misinformation, when AI becomes a tool for deception. And so what is the situation? Now, during a national election campaign, a political group used AI to create high realistic deepfake videos or candidates making inflammatory statements they never actually made. The video goes on social media, viral on social media, reaching millions of voters before fact checks can debunk them. Separately, AI-generated news articles containing fabricated statistics are published on legitimate-looking websites, further confusing public discourse. Somebody will ask that, are you bringing this because of the election that is coming in? Well, it just so happened that is, I don't know, maybe that's not the reason I'm going. It's just like a coincidence. So what's the discussion here? How do deepfakes threaten democratic process? What responsibility do AI developers have to prevent misuse of their tools? How can individuals identify AI-generated misinformation? What role should government, tech companies, and civil society play? And how does this relate to the transparency and reliability principles? So what do you guys think? What our discussion is also guiding through is what is called trust erosion, which is what we're trying to also look at. So any feedback from any one of you? What do you think? What's the discussion question? Can anybody contribute to it? All right. So because of time. So the principle at stake is transparent, reliability, and safety and accountability. Now there's a dual use dynamic. Say technology that creates educational content can also create misinformation. And you see detection tools like content provenance, watermarking, AI-powered detection system. Microsoft approach is to do what? Content credentials, where you have Azure AI content safety service. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of times there are tools also you can even use to do or to audit some of these things. And then one of it is, like I said, the Azure AI content safety service. And governance solution is regulation of synthetic media, platform marketability, media literacy education. And key lesson here is responsible AI is not just about how we build it, it's about preventing its misuse. And so to wrap up all of this, these are the deliverables AI ethics checklist for any AI solution. In fact, you can take a screenshot of this, and what this means is this is your takeaway, a pre-flight checklist for AI. Once you're building an AI system, you can see all of these are checked either. So these are the questions you are answering for your AI. And please, in your presentation of your capstone project, when you're projecting, take this slide page and then also answer each of the question of what you have built, how they all filling into this. So your checkbox will be, if at the end of the day during your presentation, I want to see this AI ethics checklist for your, we want to see, sorry, this AI checklist ethics for your AI solution that you build. You are saying that it makes fairness and bias. This is actually part of your scoring metrics. And then you're going to explain that you've tested it around demographics, training the data, representation, and our balance, ongoing balance monitoring. In fact, the transparency also, can it explain its decision? Is user informed, and they can they interact with the AI? And then all of these are things that I expect that should be included in your lesson. So that will be all the takeaway. And then these are Microsoft Learn modules mappings that you can use. You can use the AI fluency, explore responsible AI, the duration, you have it here. They're all Learn modules, you know, identity principle and practice for responsible AI. They are all, you have our AI 900, you have, you know, all of these are what you can use. The topics that are covered here, ethical application of AI and all of that. So key takeaways here is that responsible AI is everyone's responsibility, not just developers or data scientists. And then the Microsoft 6 principle provide a practical framework for fairness, for reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, what they call it, inclusiveness and accountability. One way I used to remember this, what they call it is, you can look for an acronym for yourself to remember how to use the Microsoft 6 principle. Anyhow, let me not lose anything. So AI amplifies existing bias. You have proactive testing and monitoring are essential. What governance also matters, which means policy plus process plus people working together across the organization. Always ask who could be harmed by this system and how do I prevent it. When we are marking your project, these are things that we'll be looking at. Then, like I said, use the ethics checklist as a starting point for every AI project you want to build or you want to deploy. These are all the resources you have. And then with that said, I don't know if anybody has any question before we quickly move to how we can build AI Foundry. I have two. Let me see if I can open my sugar. Okay. Sugar. Mm. Mm. The first class I had with every one of you, I made mention of we made mention. Yes, James, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, please. Before you move forward, can you bring again the slide that has the principles?
Okay. See the checklist for AI solution.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, fine. It's okay.
Let me see if I can do a screenshot for you guys.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
So I'm able to do that. Okay. And so okay, so you see it in the chat window. Now let's go on to, I want to quickly show you your capstone project. So we finished, and this is our week. This is our week 5. So this is our week 6. What your custom project is all about. Let me increase my sorry. So I hope you can see my screen very well. Now, in your week 6, it can be group and individual, and good enough, we already have a group. So, what is the project? You are designing a conceptual AI power solution using Microsoft AI tools. No heavy coding required, to be honest. Your project's requirement is that each project should include a problem statement, target user that you are building the solution for. The AI approach can be machine learning, Gen AI, Copilot, or Azure AI, or Microsoft Foundry. Do you get? The data needed can be real or hypothetical data. I'm going to share this with you on the chat in the chat window. The solution must also follow ethical and responsible AI. So that must be your, like I said, that you've already done that. Then what is the expected impact or outcome of what you are building? Now, we know that your assessment evaluation is that participation is 20%, your mini project will carry your 50%, your quiz and reflection will carry 30%. That's what makes 100%. Now, we've done this to give you suggested mini project ideas, but still, it is suggestion. You can sit among yourself and say, oh, the suggestion that MJ and Madam Franca or even Joanne, based on what we are talking, I don't think we want to do this. We want to build something on our own. Do something that solves a problem. What matters is that they should all follow this project requirement. And at the end of the day, what is the impact or outcome that, and then what problem is it solving? So we have examples here. I'm going to share this also with you in the chat window, like beginners of business focus. We have AI customer support assistant, Copilot start chatbot for FAQ, reduce response time and support costs. We have smart resume screening assistant, AI helps HR shortlist candidate, include bias mitigation strategy. This is an example. We have an AI study companion that you can also build, that is personalized learning assistant for students, summarize quiz study requirement. We have AI health information assistant, that is something that can do for symptom education, not diagnosis. So if you have certain symptoms, you can say, oh, this is what it is. Responsible AI focuses on safety and disclaimer. We also have an example for AI fraud awareness system, that is detect suspicious financial messages or transaction. Now, one of the things we're going to do in this class today, in our class, is that I've gone the extra mile to say, okay, let me create like 2 different mini projects guide that you can practice with over the week, and we're going to do one of it. And then I'm going to do that with Microsoft Foundry. I can give you all these slides also at the end of the day, and it is no code, it's prompt based. What we just want is that, since a lot of us say we not even code, we just want it to be prompt based and all of that. So there is a session for what is Microsoft Foundry, maybe just have an idea, and then what it is all about, and then the prerequisites. If you do not have this prerequisite today, there is no way you will be able to do this class. So let me say it ahead of time. One of the prerequisites is that you should have an Azure browser. We talked about it. Sign up. How many of you have signed up for free Azure? Please, with a raise of hand. With Azure credits, there is, even if you put your credit card, they won't collect any money from you. They accept Nigeria this thing. So great, Precious, great. Please, if you don't know how to sign up for it, you can meet Precious to help you with it. And you can see what is important here. Coding experience, none is required. This project is entirely prompt based. So I've come up with 2 different mini projects. Mini this thing that we can work with. All you just need is internet connection, is a 60 to 90. So the thing is, if you don't have an Azure account yet, you can create one for free. And but a little bit of concept before you go on. We've already talked about large language. Precious, are you raising your hand to ask question, or just to indicate that you have an Azure credit? Precious. Your hand is still raised. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, let me bring it down.
Okay. All right. Great. So you have these are the concepts you need to understand even before you do it. What is large language model? I've put in a little bit of it. Prompt engineering. I'm sure that a lot of us have written that. The chat background, then the system message, and I also want to believe that you've been taught this, the difference between zero shot and few shot prompting. If it's not covered, I'll just quickly make mention of it when it is being used. That is, zero shot prompting is when you give the AI a task with no example. The AI relies on its own training to generate a response. So when do you use this? For simple common tasks where AI is likely to understand the request without example. The few shot prompting is you provide 2 to 5 examples of the desired input or output pattern before the actual task. And when you use this is when you need consistent formatting, tone, or domain specific responses. So I have this now. I'm going to walk us through. I generated 2 different ones that I feel that during the week you can, because this task will only take like 60 minutes or an hour. So I feel that during the weeks you can use this to practice the 2 of them. I'm going to share it in the chat window, and then to firm up your muscles around building solutions on the AI Foundry. And when you have done that, can now help you. So what are we going to build today? We are going to create a smart HR assistant. So let's see what that will be. If you decide to say this is what you want to adopt for your custom project and then expand it more, why not? Ensure that whatever I do today, whatever you're bringing or you're presenting, you have expanded it more to give you something that I can say, oh, yes, or we can say, oh, you have done well with. Do you understand? So I'm going to share now my AI Foundry. And then one of the things I also wanted to say is that one of the mistakes I think I did was that when I was setting up the AI Foundry, unfortunately, you cannot set up a AI Foundry for what they call it. You can't set up a AI Foundry. You see all the resources, whether there is any AI Foundry here. I think this is it, so I can delete it. You can set up a AI Foundry for the location has to be US. I think that day I made a mistake to select South Africa. It is not available. It is in US for now. So maybe in the future Microsoft will change that. We don't know. But let me go back home. So this is my let me see all resources. So that's why I said test like deep dive AI Foundry, but I'm going to delete it now, and then we're all going to start all over again. I am. So I start all over again from where we built. Please ensure that I already have it deleted or what? Do I have it deleted? Maybe I have it deleted already. This is just residue. Okay, so please do me the favor of, I just wanted to start all afresh so that it's not as if I'm starting afresh to see even how I go to this place. So if you have an Azure what they call it already, if you have an Azure subscription, all you need to do is just go to ai.azure.com. If you have signed into your Azure subscription, it's going to bring something like this out for you, right? And then if you have not signed in before, it's going to bring you a username and password, which I already have. So you can see that this is the Microsoft Foundry. This brings you to the Microsoft Foundry. So don't be afraid. The truth about it is that we are not writing any code. We just want to use prompts to do all of this. And that's one of the things and in a minute, we're going to see what we're going to build. In few minutes, we're going to see what to build. Now, if you look at it, this is the Microsoft Foundry. You have enterprise, the API reference, you have models. You can see pricing here. You can start building. Now you can start building or you explore enterprise capabilities. These are all of the things. And you see, for today, the highest cloud model we have is 4.8. In fact, that's what I use in what I'm building. You have ChatGPT 5.5. You have this version 4 Pro. These are the latest models. You have coders of 5.3 and all of that. So this is what is showing you. Do you get? So you can click on any to create a new project. Actually, you can actually click on create, and you can just say start. When I say start building right now, it's just going to try to authenticate me, and then I can now give it what I want, and then we will start from there. So you can see the option for me to start creating an agent, and then it says that I can choose a model from all of this place. Do you see? So if I say create an agent, I want to see if that thing has finished. Okay, it's great. So I don't have it again, because I want us to start from afresh. So if you do not have the new interface, if I say new Foundry, you can see, I said I should select a project, or select your search for a project. If I do not have, I will say I want to create a new project. Do you understand? Now, the new project I want to create right now, I'm going to name mine to be Word Smart Assistant. So you can just follow me. Please let me know if I'm too fast. If you have your AI Foundry open, let me know. How many of you have your AI Foundry open, please? With a raise of hand. So if the name is how many people have AI Foundry open? Or you just want to watch me do and then you go and do it later on? Start what we're doing here. Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
To watch.
Okay. All right, that's fine. That's fine. No problem. So you can see the advanced option here. The advanced option actually allows you to give it a name. You can see that it says Smart HR Assistant. So you create a Foundry resource for it. When you click on the advanced option, you have the flexibility for you to change this however you want to change. You have also the flexibility to select the subscription you want it to build. So for me, this is the subscription. I've already renamed. I have plenty subscription, but I've renamed this subscription that, oh, this is my MVP subscription, so that's what I'm going to use. Then you also have a resource group. It has picked a resource group for you to use. However, you can decide to create a resource group. Now the region, just leave it as East US. Do you get? And then when you do that, you can create what you can select what create. If you feel this name is not, you can say, oh, smart HR Assistant 01, if that is what you feel comfortable with. If you are comfortable with that, you do that. If you don't want, see, you can see that by the time I select, I put 01 in it, it adds 01 to the resource name. You get, if I remove the 01 now, it will remove 01 from it. It's not cast in a stone that you should use what I'm using. If I'm not comfortable with the name here, I can change it. If I'm not comfortable with the subscription, I can change it. If I'm not comfortable with the resource group, I can also change it. But if I'm okay, let's say I want to name this as 01, and I create it. So by the time, you can see it's setting up my Microsoft Foundry for me, and that is it. Now, your project, what you need to understand is that your project is like your workspace that organizes all your AI models, your data, and configuration in one place. So that is why it is called what? Your model. That's like your workspace. It's like your bench. You put everything together. Now, when this thing finish installing, we'll be able to go into it and then be able to click on models. Now, remember that when I was talking, I said Microsoft has done something that it made in your Foundry. All of these models are available to you. You have the latest model, you have even models that are before now. But one of the things I normally encourage people to use is that don't go and pick models, because the model type will determine the money you are actually going to what they call it. They will determine the payments. Do you understand? So you can see that it is reloading. By the time it reloads, it will ask me to pick again. So when it finished, we will change now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. So it will ask me to relog in, and then when I relog in, it's actually going to say welcome to the new, these all those ones that story by saying next. So all these API keys, they are just important that you can use it, especially when you want to. So normally I normally encourage that people, you can copy it down and then whatever, but if you don't copy, you will still get it. And then I click next, and then I create the agent. Do you see? So creating your first agent really from this. So let me cancel this. So if you look at these models that I have, if you look at it, we have the agents, right? And then you have the model. So the first thing is this I want to do. If I say I want to create an agent, it will give me the option for me to create a new agent, build an agent, code an agent. So I can build an agent, build your agent in Foundry. I can code an agent, that is, you create your agent with code in any frameworks that, and then host it in Foundry. Those are the two ways. Or I can even browse a template from all of the agents that I can decide to look for templates that are here. You can see an internal procurement portal. This is an agent template that I can decide to use, and I can decide to build on it. A customer reviews synthesizer, or let's say an internal policy Q&A. I can build it, and you can see that this one sits on what? On a SharePoint. What they call it. I did not even what they call I did not even sign into my M365. Right? So you can see, and these are templates you can use: meeting prep, event value research. You can decide to use template, trip itinerary. You can see that where is this data grounded is being searched, and then where first file search is what is using. So whatever template you pick, you will see the tools that are being used for it. This one is a SharePoint and a file search. So you have a SharePoint library where you can have a document standard reviews and all of that, and then so you can build agents from template, or you can build it on your own, or you can build also in another framework and then bring into Microsoft Foundry for you to use it. So that's one. Now, the next thing I want us to look at is our models, which is quite very important. Now, for this exercise we're going to do, we're actually going to be looking at models. Now, because models, your Azure consumption, the prices, is determined by the models you pick. If you pick a model that is quite very expensive, it means that it will eat all up your money at once. So sometimes you want to be careful about the models you pick. So for this particular one now, I'm going to recommend that for a beginner, you can actually pick what? GPT 4.0. So if I do that, my models, that is, let me see. So if you click on it, on each of the models, actually, you can see their pricing and all of that. But what I want to select right now, I will just look for GPT 4.0. Let's see. GPT-4. Okay, so this one, because it's quite very easy, and then when I'm speaking this what they call it, mini, this one, yeah, 4.0 mini, it's cost effective, and then it's highly capable. So I'm just going to pick this one, that is what I want to use for building the solution. So you can see the price. You can see the details, you can see what it is, you can view the price, you can see you can see everything that it is. So the capabilities, this is it, direct from Azure model, key capabilities, this is it. So I'll just click on what deploy. So I'm going to deploy. Actually, I'm just going to say deploy. I'll leave the default settings. I just say deploy and then leave the default settings and then allow it to deploy to my this. So you can see now that it's deploying. Now from here, I'll give my deployment now, right? I'll give my deployment the details. If I come here for the deployment, I can see this talks about the target route. This is the name. So if I want to edit, I can decide that my deployment name, I want to change the name which I want it to load, and that deployment name I'm going to give it HR. Should have done custom that. But please take note when you want to do your own, put it as custom so that you can rename it. That's the mistake I made there anyway. Okay. So now what happens is that give your deployment HR assistant model instead of making it, but I should still see when I will be able to rename it. I'll get a place to rename it. Now, so once the deployment, so I have what is called like a playground. This is my playground now. And then this playground is where you can do what? You have the opportunity for you to do what? To chat with your playground. See if I can rename this thing. That was the mistake I made. I should have renamed it before going on. So and then so you see the system message text box where you can chat with the agent and then you can give it. You're an AI agent that helps people find information, you know, all of this. So you are now, so let's start now. So the first thing is that the project name, I've given it the things I want to use. So let's define our message. Now, in the system message, this is what I'm going to give it. I'm going to copy and paste because I've already directly at, let me see, textilers.com. Trying to just edit the documents before I paste. So this is the instruction. Let me give you this instruction first. And then trying to copy it onto the other. Okay, proceeding. So I still feel I should be able to rename this thing somewhere. I don't like the way it's showing. It's showing in relation, so I wish I can rename it. Gosh, it was way off. Just the deployment of I can really. Let me leave it. It's gone. We cannot. There's nothing for us to do there. Okay. So trying to copy. See. So the question is this. This one said you are a smart HR. You're a smart HR, you're a smart HR, a friendly and professional AI assistant. For textiles human resource department, your role is to help employees with questions about company policy, leave entitlement, benefits, onboarding procedures, and workplace culture. So this is the guidelines. Always respond in a warm, you give it warm, professional, empathetic tone. We will not know the answer, say I don't know, and then you refer somebody to hr@textiles.com. Never provide legal advice for legal matters, direct employees to the legal documents and all of that. And then this is where you have knowledge. So knowledge, you can add knowledge basis for your branding. So knowledge basis will be where the agents will be looking for things for you to be able to ask. And then you can also connect tools. If you say you can connect tools, it can be a website, it can be an MCP and all of that. It can even be a SharePoint. So but for memory, memory stores help agents remove context from wherever, so you can do that. So with that being done right now, if I press enter, okay, so it wants me to put it here. If I press enter, it will start building, and then I need it to build. So why is it doing this? It's my answer. Yeah, is it that because this is me asking question. Yeah. Jeez, man. I'm not having tools. Let's say I don't have a SharePoint, so I need a SharePoint. So let me save my agent first. Because I have to have a name for it. That's the thing. Let me get the smart serial agent's name. That's what it is. Hold on, please. HR assistant. So let's save as an agent, and then this particular one that comes in right now is not a message that I'm supposed to put it. But this way I'm just supposed to put the instruction and then you create the agent. So I was wondering. So let's see. Oh, no, this is the HR assistant. So let's now ask it. You know, I've given it the instruction. So the instruction, has already taken the instruction. I can optimize it further. So these are some of the tools I can use. Then the knowledge and let me see, connect to web search. I think for this place, connect supposed to just trying also this new Foundry interface. So okay, so it's good now. An HR assistant model. So you can see this place now. I can decide to use a voice mode. All I've given it now is just this instruction here. Is smart HR, a friendly. Please ignore what I posted here before. It was just a confusion. So this is where you give it instruction. You said you have given it instruction of what to do and all of that. And once you create, the next thing is that let us now come here and then test what we what we want. So let's say I'm asking a question to say how many annual leaves days do I get? Now, if right now, remember, if we wanted this thing to be more specific, right? It means that we will have a document that says if your level is this, this is the leave. But realistically, it's going to just answer based on some of the things. Annual leave, see, because our experience said annual leave is 20 working days per year. So that's why it's asking me that we're entitled to 20 working days of annual leave per year. If we don't want this to be more, we can say that we can further train it to say that if somebody's level is this, give it a leave of this type. Do you know? So I mean of this type. So you can change it anyhow you want. It means you will want to upload knowledge. So your knowledge base. So this connects to Foundry IQ, means that in my Foundry IQ, I must have built something that is a knowledge base that it can now it can connect to. Do you understand? So, but based on what I have here, I want to see if I can. Based on what I have here, this is the complaint context. Annual leave is this, sick leave is 10 days, and all of that. Remember what I started with when we were talking? We said the types of prompting that you have. Is it zero shot prompting? That is, or few short prompting, that is you provide 2 or 5 examples of desired input, that is for few short prompting. And then the zero shot is you give AI tasks with no example, the AI relies on its own training. So some of the data I've given it here, I've already said 20 working days per year. So you just give me, is there anything else I can help you with? So let's still test some of it, that the instruction I've already given it. Let's see whether it can respond to it. So if I say, what is the dress code? So if I ask right now that what is the dress code on Friday? Now it's still going to look through this and check for me that on Friday the dress code is casual. So let's see whether we see anything on. So dress code business casual, Fridays of dress code business casual, Friday are casual dress days. So he said on Fridays the dress is casual, you can dress more relaxed compared to the usual business. So he added a lane. He's also able to think and then say, oh, he's going to respond. So, but you can build more on this. So let's say I'm asking this other question. Say, can you help me with a legal dispute? Remember, can you help me with a legal dispute with my landlord? Then you see what is going to say. I don't have information yet. Please contact HR directly at HR this, because it doesn't. Landlord is not part of what is this information I've given, the instruction I've given it. I'm telling it already that always respond in a warm, professional, and empathic tone. If you don't know the answer, say I don't have that information, and please contact HR directly at this. And that is what it has also responded to me, because it doesn't have any information about my landlord. It is only words answering me about leave. What we said you should do is that you are to help employees with question about company policy, leave entitlements, benefits, onboarding procedure, and all of that. So let me ask another question that is that he should know what to say on it. You get? So I'm going to say now that I am a new, and you know what we have done? Everything I am giving here, I am actually training this ChatGPT 4.0 mini with all of this information. So he's learning the pattern of how I am answering, how he's answering my question, or maybe what other person is giving it. And at a time, he will know that, okay, oh no, this is not what I'm supposed to answer. Or if I say, oh, this question is wrong, this is how you should answer it later. I gave it, even if it is a bias response, he will take it and then he will learn from it also. So let's say I am a new employee. What should I know about probation? And how it's going to look at is the instruction I've given it. So he says, as a new employee, here are some key points about the probation period. Duration: the probation period lasts for 6 months. Performance evaluation: your performance will be assessed during this time. feedback. You receive regular feedback to help you improve. Successful completion of probation period may lead to a confirmation. If you have any further questions, feel free to let me know. At least they answer that question based on what I have asked it. So let me ask that, what are the benefits if there is anything on maternity leave? If I want to go on a maternity leave, is there any benefits for me there? So let's see whether that is available. So it tells me, it said the maternity leave benefits at Tesla as follow. Duration is 16 weeks of paid maternity leave. Eligibility available to eligible employee upon request. Job protection, your position will be protected during your leave. If you have more question and all of that. So you can see that I have done this. I mean, it's answering questions. So if I come to optimize, right? Do you see? If I come to I can suggest additional changes or capabilities I want it to have. Do you understand? So I can do that. So let's see. I want to do another thing that say, let's say, how do I so let's say that I want to add this and says that if a user, let's say if a user has this question, if a user has this kind of sample question, let's say I say example one, users, if a user has these sample questions, this is how you should ask it. You see that when we talk about the few short prompting is that I want it to say exactly how you want to. So I'm giving another example. I want to be able to expand this further so that you guys can see. So I'm saying an example one, users, how do I apply? Let's say users say, how do I apply for annual leave? I want you to give this response in this manner. So I'm going to save, and then I'm going to now copy this question and see what it will say. Let's say I save this now, or I'm going to repeat that same question to say, do this. So let's see what it's going to ask. What is going to make this? Do you see? So it's following. To apply for annual leave, please follow these steps. Do you see? This is what we call the few short prompting, because I have given this model the way I want it to answer. So it says, so it's giving the user exactly the way I want it. Or even let me now say, I do not want to. I even say, oh, I use maternity leave that I did not. Let me say, how do I apply for my maternity leave? You know, I didn't give any few short prompting on now. Let's see what it's going to do. So you can see that this is what is the zero. Nothing like this was there. See, when you say what are maternity leaves, when I say that I ask for maternity leave, but when I now say how do I apply for maternity leave, it learns from the way I ask this question that for you to apply for annual leave, please follow this. Now it now learn from it. I did not give it a few short prompting. This is a few short prompting because I already said what and what it should do. Rather, what it did is that it said, okay, to apply for maternity, please follow these steps. Notify your manager, inform your manager about your intended leave dates as early as possible, submit a formal request. Then it now tells me, he now went to what I put here and then now include it. So this is like the zero shot. You see the difference now. So let's give another example to say, I want to include an example again. I want to optimize my stuff. I want to still come down here and then give another example to say, users who do I talk to about salary? So let me save again. Then let me ask the question. But I will ask it in a way, not exactly the way I will say, how do I get information regarding salary? So let's see what he's going to say. So it says that for inquiries regarding your salary, please reach out to the payroll team directly at this. You can also visit the finance payroll option on the second floor of HQ for assistance. Is there anything else? But you see what I said there. For salary related inquiry, please reach out to. So it's using, this is what I mean by a zero shot. It's seeing what I have. Even then, I put Hashem here. Let me put textiles. There's some. So he's seeing what I already use as an example here, and then he's using that to train itself. This is zero shot that even though I'm not asking the exact question, he's using it to, oh, okay, she's still talking about salary. So this is what, since I have this, I should be able to answer it here. So that is that, and then you can continue to iterate, to test and all of that, and then that is just a simple model that we have built. Do you see? So if I include voice in it now, I can include voice, but please be you see what, do you see? It's going to use my Azure speech. It's going to detect my speech. Do you understand? It can also adjust to speech. If you're using it, ensure that you have more credit before you go on it, because if we do it, it can be an issue. And then if I use it now, if I say start, let me first share my sound. Let me share sound. Share my sound so that I can hear me. So if I say start now, can I get help for salary? Okay, he's asking me for to allow. Okay.
It looks like you mentioned AI. Could you please provide a bit more context or specify your question? I'm here to help. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I need help around salary.
For salary-related inquiries, please reach out to the payroll team directly at payroll@textilers.com. You can also visit the Finance and Payroll office on the second floor of HQ for assistance. They handle all matters related to salary, deductions, and payment schedules. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Nothing, thank you.
You're welcome. If
Okay.
you have any questions in the future, feel free to ask. Have a great day. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Nothing. So you can see, so let me end this. You can see what I'm trying to say here is that, and do you see, because if somebody, I want all of us to think, what do you think me, why do you think, which scenario do you think I will use voice? And what principle am I using? What responsible AI principle am I using? Can anybody think about it? Hello? It's on a platter of gold, though.
Hello, what did you say?
I'm saying now, I'm using voice. I'm using voice in this model. What responsible AI principle am I using?
I think it's transparency. I don't know.
There's transparency because but now that I'm using voice, I'm using inclusiveness because I'm saying people with disability, probably maybe I cannot even, people with disability, maybe I cannot make use of my hand, or I cannot even type, I cannot see. But now I'm using voice to say I still need help. So I'm building my AI to cater for every need of people around me. To say if you have someone with disability but you can still speak but you cannot see, you can use your voice to speak and you can still get help. And those are the things you're looking. So if you are defending, I'm just giving you an example that by the time you are defending your project, some of the things that should come to mind that you should be speaking. when you're defending your project and all of that, whatever tool or whatever technology you use within the model to build, whether you're building, you should say the reason why you're using it. I, for once, look at it. Somebody that is having some sort of disability in the company but cannot type, or cannot even see, but they can touch, and then they can see, they can feel that, oh, this is a voice prompt. And with voice prompt, my solution is inclusive. It's inclusive for someone that cannot. And then the solution also will be inclusive if I take things around even the architecture, or the texture, or the accessibility part of it. So that's some of the things you should take into consideration. So you're building solution today, you are asking all of those questions. Is it able to meet everybody, accessibility wise, and demography and all of that? And then if I decide I want to see if, because I'm looking for the language, custom language, if I can upload the language that it should be in Yoruba language. Let me see, I want to test something. Let me see what I can tell. I want to test. Let's test it together. Like I said, I don't prompt. When people use the voice prompt, ask them for their preferred language in Yoruba. I'm building for the Nigeria context: Hausa, Igbo, and Efik. Right? So let's see. Let me see. Let's see whether it's going to honor it. All right. Hello.
Hello. How can I assist you today? Is there anything specific you need help with?
Can you help me in a specific language?
Of course. Which language do you prefer? We can communicate in Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, or Efik.
Okay. So I think I'm done. Thank you. I would like to speak in Yoruba.
Oda, ama about fun. I can't see ye. Bawani mo shlerane lotwat loni.
Do you guys hear it? I said I want to speak in Yoruba. He said, okay, Oda. That's it. So
Oda, be ejo. Is e afojusunin. Kini mole safunin loni.
Oh my God. Ṣé wàá help mi ní nípa salary? Mo fẹ́ mọ̀ nípa salary mi.
It seems there might be some confusion. For any salary-related inquiries or adjustments, please reach out to the payroll team directly at payroll@textilers.com.
All right, thank you. So it's just fun, you know. The thing is that if you want to speak with it in what they call it, even if you, that's why you can actually train, and then you have the option for you to upload custom speech, you call it. So I know there is one Unilag guide that created the speech language in Yoruba and all of that you can model. These are things you can actually use within the solution. So that's that. But I will encourage you, like I said, even if you want to do what I do, please, I will encourage you, add knowledge base. You can connect to what they call it, Foundry. You can connect to a search resource. You can connect to a knowledge base. You can do more research to say, how can you bring in your own what they call it, documents and all of that, if you can upload any documents and all of that. So those are some of the things that we can look at. And then the other assignment I have here that I said, this one we have just done right now is Smart HR. The second one is an IT help desk. So I'm going to give you the two. So you can see an IT help desk edition. I've also written a guideline for how you are going to create it. and then some of the things also. So how you deploy the things you need to do. This is you are a tech assistant, a knowledge base. These are the things you're going to put in your instruction, and then these are the sample prompts you're going to answer, and then what you're supposed to observe that it gives you on this. So I'll share all of this with you, and then if you want to do the few short prompting which we did, these are the example, and then maybe some other adjustment you can do going forward. So you can use this to practice, and then when you use this to practice, you firm up. You can, like I said, you can expand this however you want to do, and then you are cool with it. Sit with your team member. At the end of the day, the person with the best project, the team with the best project, we're only just going to get one representative per track. The person with the team with the best project are going to move to the final to compete globally. Yes, it's English, to compete with the rest of the textile tracks. So you want to bring your A game, you want to bring a lot of things you want to see, you can expand it. And if you decide that it is Copilot you want to use, maybe it is Copilot you want to use. So it's just that this is, how will I put it? Let me see. If I want to create an agent, if I come here, if you have an agent to create, do you understand? If I say I want to create, what's wrong with this thing? Create a new agent. If I say I want to create a new agent, this is my what they call it. I want to build my own agent. This is my work account, so it's easy for, this is my work account. I have an agent here that I can build, but for you I do not know. So all I just need to come and do here is that I want to create a new agent. I can just take that same word that I have right now. Let me see, the same thing I build right now, let me build it. Where is it? The same thing I just built right now from AI Foundry. I'm also going to put the same instruction. And if you do not know, I'm going to give you a tip. If you do not know how to, this is it. So this is me using Copilot, not AI Foundry. I'm sure we taught you both. So let me see. I'm going to just select this. And then I'm going to describe, this is my agent, so I'm describing it. The same prompt I put in Foundry. You are a smart this, and I put this. And then we're going to see what is going to bring out now with me building my agent. So you can see the agent builder. It is straightforward. It's building, it's thinking through everything I'm building. And then if I have any data source, that's why it is there. So you can see now, this in Foundry we call it playground. In AI agent, this is my agent builder. Do you get? So it's already broken. The instruction I gave it is already broken it down, and then this is it. See my knowledge base. This is my knowledge base. If I have a SharePoint, I can upload it. I can add files, I can upload it. This is what I've told my agent to do and all of that. If I have a knowledge base, let me see. I think there was something I missed there that I want to correct. Oh. There was a place I left as Hashem, so I want to correct it. Okay. Now, if I want to add more knowledge, maybe this is the source of my file. I can pick a Word document, I can pick meeting, I can pick anything, I can put URL, and then for it to be able to, even if it's a SharePoint site, you get, and then all of that. So if I ask this same agent, now the agents, I want to try, this is my space, I want to try it. The name the agent has assumed, you can see it assumes smart HR. If I don't want this name, I can change it. So if I say here, if I want to test this agent and say, I want to ask my agent and ask it that, how many annual leave do I have? So let's see what it's going to give me. So he said Textella provides 20 working days of annual leave per year. Is there anything I can help you? So what is, you see, he's giving me suggestion already. And I put that, oh, what is the maternity leave? That's the beauty about the co-pilot AI agent. It will just give you, Textella offers 16 weeks of paid paternity leave to eligible if there's anything and all of that. So I can decide. So let's say, how do I apply for my leave? Let's see whether it can be intelligent without me giving it anything. How I can apply for my leave. Let's see whether it's a generic or it's just going to be. We're trying to test the few shots prompting. How do I apply? So he said to apply for your annual leave at Textella, submit your leave request to your manager of HR, this. But you see, so if I the dates, I'll wait. So, but let me see if I say, I put this sample and see what is going to say. Let me add it to the instruction just like I did for the other one that time. And when you are building, take notes of the limit. You have 8,000, so I will only just use this right now. So log into our Textiles. That's what I want to textiles.com, and then let's look at it. So let me, it's auto saving. You can see that it's auto saving. So let me ask the same question again, and I'm going to repeat it. No, it's just auto saving. How do I apply? Yeah, no, it's not that one. Yes, how do I apply for? Yes, let's see. So for this particular one, it did not pick it. So it's not using, okay, no, you say, I don't have that, please contact. Okay. So it does not for HR, log into HR portal, it did not have the example. How do I apply for normal leave? Okay, I think I understand what is happening here. Oh, sugar. What is it? So how do I apply for annual leave? Let me see what it is. Yeah, no. Let's see whether it answers it the way it is written. Submit your request to your HR and this, or please contact HR directly. So it did not come with the way it is. They didn't honor this for us. So I think it's just Foundry that we honor it. So that's all, and then you guys can decide in between whether it's Foundry you want to use. If you have Agent Builder, I don't know, to be honest, in a free version, because this is the free version of what they call it. This is my free version. Let me help you guys test whether you have so I'm trying to log into Copilot, the free version, because this is Copilot, the free version. So I want to see if you have that's the one. Let's see, where's my Textiles? I think I have Textiles signed in here. Let's see. Where's Textiles? I have Textiles signed in this morning. I want to see whether did they create account for you in Textilers, right?
No.
Do you have any accounts on any admin this thing on any? Okay, if you don't have, I will have to help you guys with that. So don't worry, we'll do that during this week.
Right.
Okay, so you have access. This is Textile, right? You will have access. So you can see prompt coach. One of the things I said, one of the things I want to help you with is that if you do not know how to generate code prompts, just say, you can say, help me. You can say, help me generate a prompt to be used. You can say in Microsoft Foundry. Let me use the words Microsoft. In Microsoft Foundry, instructing, telling it to, instructing it, Microsoft Foundry, sorry, instructing it to create an AI resume analyzer. Do you get? So if I do this, I said I don't know the prompt, but what I'm asking this is this. So he's going to ask me, say, great use case, AI resume is a powerful tool to be before I generate a strong prompt. He's asking me what exactly should AI analyzer do, evaluate this. What is your primary goal? So I can copy all of this because I don't want to, and then give it back to it and say, yes, exactly, that's your answer. And then it will guess, okay, this is great, your goal is defined. Then it will ask context steps to what is the context, who will use it, is it recruiter, is it HR, what type of roles. So I can copy this also, that who will use it. You see that I want AI, I want prompt coach to be able to help me. Yes, who will use it, recruiter, HR, what type of roles, tech, input format, PDF is this thing, volume, single, and I don't want vices, I would say, and I want both. Compliance, e.g., yes, maintain, comply with responsible, responsible AI framework. You get? Fairness. If I put this, that is it. See, you know, for prompting, the first thing is your goal. That's your step one. Your step two is context, and then the source. Where do you want to get the source? This define what information the AI should rely on, whether job description uploaded and these things. So my turn, should the AI resume use this? E.g., I can say yes to all, because I want it to be able to use all of this. Yes. Then, and because of time, if not, final missing ingredient, what's the expectation? Output. Do I want, here are some of the example. Output format, is it JSON? I will say no, is bulleted points I want. So I can come here and copy this thing that my response is that I want bulleted points. Scoring formula is 0 to yes, and then percentage tier, you can use any of those. Session summary, yes, is okay, I want it. My session should carry summary, strength, and recommendation. I like that. Explanation style, yes, I want it to be concise and also detailed. I want the two. Bias, fairness, with explanation of decision. Yes. So if I put this, you will now see my prompt. See what it's doing. The prompt engine, the prompt will now say, okay, this is your final output. Do you now see what this prompt now is? What I am going to take to AI Foundry. And then AI Foundry know what is building. Are you guys with me? So I'm giving you how you're going to do your test. Every one of you, the M365 account they've created for. If they've not created, please meet with Joanne this week. Submit your names. I'm going to create it for you. We're going to create an account for you, all of you, and then you can now. So if you want to use M365, because now you see you have access to new agent, you can create an agent. I just wanted to be sure that if you are not, you can create an agent. That's why I was looking for it. You can, and then you have prompt coach. So the prompt coach, please use the prompt coach. So if I take this thing now and then use it, take this is this thing here is what I'm just going to take to my Foundry and use it to build. If I this same thing, I can use it to say, if I come here, so let me see, oh sugar, I'm in a hurry. I'm actually late for an outing. So let's see. I copy this and then I say I want to create a new agent. You get now my new agent. Now if I bring it in, all of you will have access to. So decide which one you want to use, whether it's agent builder, and I paste it here. Once I paste, it's going to build my agent form. I take that same prompt also, I take it to what they call it, to Foundry, and use a model and train a model with this prompt. It's also going to give me the same thing. And then you can see, so you can see that he's already a resume analyzer. And then if I have any documents and all of that, so I can, so if I say I now, let me see what, let me test it. So the let's see what is going to, hello, the resume analyzer is set up and ready to help you evaluate this. So you can analyze a single resume against a job description. And then so I can say analyze a single resume with a job description or compare, and then point it to the document, the resume, and then it was going to check for it or evaluate, check for bias in a candidate evaluation and all of that, maybe the result I've gotten. So these are things that you can do. But if you don't know how to write your prompts, first place for you to start with is that start with the prompt coach, and then whatever the prompt coach give you, you can iterate on it, and then you bring it rather to AI Foundry and you build. So that will be all. I think we've passed. I mean, I told myself I'm going to spend time with you people today because this is almost like the last theoretical class you're going to have, and then before you start your project. So with that, thank you all. If there's any question, I'll take it. Not, have a very great weekend. All right then, bye everyone. Yeah, so we share the information in the chat window with you guys for you guys to work with. Please ensure that you try, you practice all of these, and then believe me, you can build anything. I keep telling anybody, if I wake my grandmother from the grave and with prompt engineering, she will build something. So you only just need to motivate yourself and tell yourself, if others can do it, I can do it better. All right, then, everyone, have a great weekend, and then take care.